Welcome everybody, I'm DJ Chucky and we are now in the Mixx. Today we have Jimmy Ponzio, the owner of Jimmy's Bar. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm good, Chucky. Thank you
for being with us. I mean, I've never seen this. We are at Jimmy's talking to Jimmy right here. So it's something new to me. How do you get into being a bar owner? Because I know that there's more to it, but when did it start? Did you always know that you wanted to own a bar?
It's funny you say that. I have zero restaurant experience up until about 2 years ago. Bar experience, nothing.
Whoa.
My background started on the DJ side and eventually translated into this. But the journey started just with the love of music, and now it turned into, obviously venue ownership.
Wow. We were talking before the interview about your start, like how you got started, like being a DJ, because by the time, I don't know what year it was, but I know that the equipment was expensive. How do you get started like in music? Like, what was your first connection to music?
So you're trying to date me already. I see.
Don't mind it.
Oh yeah. The time. You're trying to say I'm old, huh? No. I'll give you a quick story. When I was 16 years old, I just truly fell in love with house music. And once I realized I wanted to become a DJ, there was nothing that was going to stop me. So my mother had saved up some money from my communion and my confirmation. She gave me all $738.
Wow.
We went to Broad Street, Newark. I bought an entire set of equipment. So you know how bad the equipment must have been, right?
With $730, you got everything.
Everything.
The 2 turntables, a mixer, everything.
Got it all.
Wow.
I went home, some mutual friends of mine, they brought their cousin over who was a seasoned DJ already.
Uh-huh.
He brought over a couple of records, he played a little bit, and that was it. I didn't leave the basement that month. And came out of the summer on beat and just started putting myself out there.
That was the first thing. I mean, when you say on beat, so people know, before all of that, there was no computers to match the beat, or the records were not like made in a computer, so they weren't like on point all the time. So you had to really learn how to match them together.
Yes,
like
match
right
them
there.
Together. It's sometimes with poor productions and sometimes with live drummers. So if you weren't really paying attention to actually trying to blend the 2 records together, it'd be a disaster.
Whoa. And how do you who hired you first? Like, 'cause when you're learning, for the DJs out there, you know that when you're learning, you're trying to learn how to mix and this and that. But when you get that first gig, you're like, yeah, this is real. When did you get that first gig? Like,
I was taking my tapes to the basketball court and giving them out to friends or people I know, and somebody hired me for a house party. And that was the first, I guess you could say, gig. I think I got $100 that I split with my friend,
Wow.
I was just so happy. And I think I spent like $300 on music, so it didn't even matter. Yeah.
It doesn't add up, man.
But,
you also tell me before that your friends used to invite you to parties, but not to party, just so you could be the DJ, so they could. Is that true?
I would go to these parties. Yeah, it's a funny story. I would go to these parties, and my friends who were already DJing, they didn't want to be stuck behind the booth all day because they were looking to interact with ladies.
The ladies, of course, that's how we do this.
Hang out with their friends. So they'd give me 20, 25 records, and they'd say, Jimmy, here you go, just play. Wow. And it was the happiest moment of my life. And that's how I learned on so many different styles of music and playing with different crowds.
Yes.
Just by putting myself out there.
Wow, we're here with Jimmy, the owner of Jimmy's Vintys City Bar. His full name is Jimmy Ponzio. Tell me about your last name, your family. They live here in Elizabeth too, or?
No, so my parents have passed. My wife Karina and we have 2 boys, Anthony and Aiden, and they're kind of scattered. Anthony's in college. Karina and we live right next door, a town right next door, and both our businesses are actually in this town.
Nice.
And my youngest is in high school as well.
How do you feel that the city of Elizabeth has helped you to get to where you are now? Have you always lived here? And what is happening to the city that there's so much movement? And even this place, the Vintys, how did that come to be?
I mean, for me, Elizabeth is who I am. You know, I'm somebody from an Italian-American background who grew up inside Cuban households with friends and then hanging out with my Portuguese friends. And, you know, you're going home for pasta and then the next day, you know, you're listening to salsa.
Yes.
Or you're at someone's backyard barbecue. So the culture of the town, the city actually helped me. And then musically, we were ahead of everybody. We had kind of pioneers in the local scene that whether it was rock and roll, whether it was funk, whether it was disco, they brought so many different genres of music that it kind of seasoned me into allowing me to create my own style.
Oh, because after all of this, we're talking about you being a DJ and being exposed to all these cultures in Elizabeth and creating, you know, your taste in a way, like the way you listen to music, but then becoming a producer too.
Yes.
Like after a DJ, that's the next logic step, to be a producer. How was that jump from being a DJ to becoming a producer and now makes music?
At first, it threw me off a little bit because, you know, I was used to being in clubs 4 or 5 nights a week, and here you are now in recording studios, and I had to adjust a little bit. But then I found I could really be expressive and just make whatever I want. And if the audience likes it, then great. If not, then at least I stayed authentic to myself, and we'll go for the next one. But production has been the next step. Also kept me out of the nightclubs too, you know?
Yeah,
the nightclub industry can wear you down.
Your ass, it can kick your ass. It can kick you. Say it, Jimmy.
It did.
It could be ruthless.
It was a 22-year run in New York City, doing nightclubs, late nights, and I didn't sleep. You know, I'd high five my wife, she'd go to work, hand me the kid, I'd throw him in the car, we'd go down to Cafe Italia, have an espresso with a little sambuca to keep me up for the morning. I wasn't worried about sleep. It was still trying to be a dad, you know, provider in our dual household. But I didn't want to do anything else that didn't involve music or venues, so I had to deal with the late nights as well.
Wow, it's incredible what you're telling me. And now that you were a producer, a DJ, then now we're here at your bar, because something that I heard about you, that the first place that you used to DJ, then you became part of the place, or you became the owner of the place. Can you tell me what happened there? Because you know, when you're a DJ, you are at different places, but becoming the owner of the first place that you DJed at, like, that's incredible.
It's
like how that happened.
It's very special to me. So my partners and I, we have another venue called D-Lab, Destino Lounge and Bar, also in Elizabeth, 185 Elmore Avenue. And that's something that was so close to me because Thursday nights, I was the DJ there for 8-9 years. And it really was the place in town. And then the weekends I would be in the city. And that Thursday night, it ran for so long. When they finally shut down for renovation, I had moved on. Then they took new ownership. I'll bring the long story short. Building ownership came back to me and brought the opportunity to me, and brought in my partners, and it's truly the passion project has turned into a business that I truly believe this city was ready for and needed. It's definitely not cookie cutter for sure.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, you go to a lot of places and everyone wants to do the same thing because they think that model may work, you know, and being from Elizabeth, I was able to bet on myself and ourselves because I could take that chance. You know, one person told me, another business owner here, he was like, you know, Jimmy, you're the only guy that could probably pull this off. And, you know, you got some...
You got roots, you know, that's...
Yes, yeah.
That's why you can pull it off. It's not like I just woke up today and do it. Like, you've been here for a long time, man.
But I'm authentic in that environment. So if you see me there, this is who I am. You know, you're gonna get great house music. You're gonna get, you know, a cocktail and a dining experience. But then you're gonna get me for exactly who I am.
How did this place come to be? With your partnership with, you know, Saul and all the, you know, what's happening? How'd that happen?
So Jimmy's funny story. Jimmy's was it's kind of like an accident.
No.
I was here for another event that was being held. There was an interview going on.
Yeah.
And Sal called me in and it was like, what do you think about opening up in here? And I'm like, well, I mean, look, the proximity to the train station is literally right across the street.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So you're talking about you can get off the train, you can come into this environment, and you have all these wonderful units and tenants that can also help support. And then when you started to explain the bigger plans for not only the building, but the actual area, like what's going to be built outside these doors over the next 2, 3, 4 years, you're not even going to recognize it.
Vintage City. That's what's.
It really will be. So Vintage City might be the name on the wall,
Right.
but it's truly going to be this area. And when we spoke about it, he was like, so if you were going to come in here and open, what would you name it? I was like, Jimmy's. And we looked
That's a no-brainer.
We looked at each other and he was like,
Perfect.
I love it. He was like, let me know what you need on your end. And we were able to put it together. And just like what I was saying about the authenticity, that's how it is here. It's kind of like what you see is what you get. We're not trying to really be anything different, you know?
No. It doesn't need it. Like it's right. It hits the spot. Like it belongs. Everything. Like I was telling Sal that everything was thought about. Like every little detail, you can tell that somebody put some intention in.
But also there's simplicity because it's kind of like when you have a recipe.
Yeah.
If you try and overdo it, you know, it could be a little too much, you know? Yet, if you take something simple and just execute it really, really well, you can end up with something that's gonna stand the test of time. It won't just be a trend.
Yes.
You know, so the goal at Jimmy's was to make something for everybody and not fall in line with any trends.
That's great. I think it's happening. Something else that I wanted to ask you, it was on the side of the producing music. I want you to tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what kind of music do you produce, and if that's, you know, if you keep doing it till today?
Oh, I'm doing it. We had a remix of my track got released 2.5 weeks ago. So produce house music. That is the only music that I produce. It's a genre that's true to my heart, and I'm able to make things I love, like I said before earlier in the conversation. But I'm still active. See, Jimmy just makes everybody feel comfortable.
I know. They just come
through. You can walk right in front of a podcast.
And that's beautiful.
And it's like nothing ever happened.
And we don't say anything.
That's it.
We just
go.
And then go.
Okay.
Keep going. So you keep making music. What was the track that came out before these a couple of weeks ago?
It's called Stand Up. Stand Up. Original came out in October. The one that came out in April 12th actually was remixed by a friend of mine, Harry Romero.
Right.
He did a wonderful job on the remix, and that's what ended up being released, and it did very well. You know, it's still moving right now.
Check it out, everybody. Check it out. Go. What's the name again? So people go find it.
Stand Up, featuring Mr. V.
Get it. Listen to it. It was produced by Jimmy right here. And how do you juggle all the things? Oh, wait a minute. Did you put them up to this?
No. Right now you're having the Jimmy's Old Fashioned.
Salud.
Smoked.
It's beautiful. Look at that.
Cheers.
Oh, salud. Wow, Jimmy. This is great. That's what I'm saying. I'm moving to Elizabeth.
You should. I think we have 2 units left.
Beautiful.
I'll talk to them. You know.
Thank you.
We can make it happen.
Hey, Jimmy got me in. You know, I want to be in the Vinty guy now.
That's it. And you can just take the train wherever you got to go. So you can sell your car, and you don't have to worry about anything. See, all that extra money to put towards amenities.
Why isn't everybody doing this? Come to Elizabeth, check it out. Come to Jimmy's, check it out. This is a vibe, Jimmy.
I appreciate it.
This is a vibe.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel? Like, I know that it's been a long way. You've been fighting, trying to get different things. How do you feel right now with how things are going for you?
I'm happy now. Both venues, they're so different from each other, you know, that it actually kind of complements. So they're not competing against one another.
Right.
Going back to cookie cutter, I don't want to be cookie cutter. I want everything to kind of be a little different.
Understand that?
And I no longer have to drive home at 5 a.m. from nightclubs from New York.
It's a blessing.
I have D-Lab, and then we have Jimmy's. So, but this has become very dear to me because you start to develop relationships because people are living in the building, they're coming down. The offices, there's so many businesses that are here. And then they come in for happy hours. So you really get a personal connection in this building. And now we're about to start launching to the outside world. So we'll start to get people from the outside coming in. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Just so people know what this is about, the whole building and the whole complex, Vinty. It's how do you explain it to people that never been here? Because for me, it's like it's a community, but within a community with its own touch and way. How would you explain Vinty? Because now you're telling me, okay, there's businesses out there in the office space. So there's office space, there's living space, and there's amenities and stuff like that.
Correct.
How would you explain this place to somebody that never been here?
I'd say it's a wonderful place to work and live, to be honest. In this town that is, although it's already established, it's progressing. Where it's not stuck. This building wouldn't be here without people thinking outside the box and also understanding that Elizabeth's ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to see the pool that's in the corner.
Pass by
pool,
there.
barbecue areas, offices. So there's also a new way of working, right?
Yes.
Coming out of COVID, people are working from home. They want to be in more, I guess you could say, casual environments.
Right.
So a place like this, you don't even have to leave if you don't want to.
Ooh, there's a place over there that looks like Google's like playroom.
Oh yeah, you want to? The club room's fantastic.
Right,
it is.
I'm amazed of what's happening here.
It is.
So you say people are looking for spots where they can be casual. They can have a drink. They can go to their office. They can go to their buy some food. Like
absolutely
all together in one spot. That's what this is.
And there's more. There's going to be 2 higher end restaurants opening on behind me.
Wow.
And so you'll have
so it gets better.
It's going to keep getting better.
Right.
And which is part of the reason why I was able to come in, because when Sal and I spoke, it wasn't just about opening this, it's about where we headed.
Right, this is the first step.
Just kind of look down the road. Now you don't want to make a mistake of overlooking the task at hand, but you also want to put yourself in a position where, all right, I'm not limited.
Calculated risks.
Yes,
for the future.
Yes. Yeah. So this is great. We do to go to the building. There's a lot of things that we do here. But regarding living, you have so many options here, and I'm really glad to be able to provide something for not only the building but to the outside.
That's great. We're talking to Jimmy here. He's the owner of Jimmy Bar. You have to come here. They just made this drink for me. It's an old fashioned. That's what he said,
Jimmy's
and it was like. Salud de nuevo,
cheers.
Jimmy.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I want to get a little personal with you,
sure,
if that's okay. When we struggle to hustle and try to do things, and then you get to where you are now. How's your personal life? How do you feel? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel that there's more to do? How do you feel at this stage in your life personally?
So I'd say accomplished, because if you met my children, you'd see that the job that the work that we put in to their development and giving them the tools to kind of become who they are. That's the accomplishment. This is, yes, you can call it an accomplishment, but it's a result of taking a passion and then turning it into a business. So I feel like I'm still playing, if you know what I mean.
Are you still running?
I feel like I'm the king of the startup now, because it's like I'm thinking of the next thing, because I just, that's how my mind works. Creative minds work a certain way.
For sure.
Might not be the most organized person in the world, and that's why you find the people to complement you, where you lack,
Yes.
Yet when it comes to concepts and really coming up with something new, I love the challenge of something new.
That keeps you motivated to keep going
Yes.
and coming up with
Yes.
stuff. And when it works, because there's a lot of things that we do that they don't work.
Right.
They don't work out. But when it does work out, and that's a big satisfaction, knowing that your passion paid off.
And I'm not scared of failure. Like, how can you really achieve a goal, right, without taking some type of risk? If you're not going to take the risk, and I'm not just even talking fiscal, it could just be a risk of an area that you've never encountered before, like bar ownership.
Yes. Dealing with somebody else, making decisions together and stuff like that.
So try to surround myself with the right people. But I always say if it becomes to the point where it just feels like a job, I'll find something else to do.
As a DJ that you are,
But-
as a producer that you are, you're not gonna stay at a place that doesn't feel right to you, and that.
But I am really enjoying it, and the experience that I've gotten from being at D-Lab, translating some of that experience into this, yet them still having different identities. And you still get me in the mix over there.
Right. When you're tired of this, you go to
You
that.
come on a Saturday night, I'm playing. I might have a guest.
I'm coming.
You better.
I'm coming.
You better bring your USB sticks to your
I'm
laptop.
coming. Yes, definitely.
But yeah, so I make sure that I don't give. Well, I can't give it up. I love music so much.
That's your diet. That's your motor. That's what keeps going. Like, that's great.
Yeah, this, the more and more I'm here, the more I'm falling in love with this place as well.
How long have you been here? Like, how long have Jimmy's been open?
Month and a half, almost 2 months.
So we're brand new.
Oh, brand new. Yeah.
Wow.
Brand new. Like I said, we're about to, for June 7th, we're going to launch to the outside. So we're open to the public, but we haven't put the major announcement out. We're going to be doing live music on the patio Friday night. So we're really going to kind of get things moving here. But I wanted to make sure that we were structured and knew that we were able to provide the right atmosphere, the right service, and now we can ask people to come in and like bring them into Vintage City, because then when they come into Vintage City, they're going to see that there's so much more.
Yes.
You might come in for the bar and end up, taking a tour and getting an apartment. Or
that's great.
You might look for an apartment and end up popping in and have a drink or grabbing a bite to eat. You could end up at SVK or one of the new restaurants in the food hall that are going to be opening.
That's a
at
great
the end of the summer.
surprise.
So, that's the whole point of having Vintage City.
It's
It's
unexpected.
like
You just keep walking and you find new things to do. And
yes.
I want you to do a PSA, a public service announcement, so people could come to and enjoy all of the things that are happening, because this is the beginning, people. This is the beginning of something big. I want you to come and enjoy this. Adelante, Jimmy. Go ahead.
All
Just
right.
invite people to come and enjoy the whole.
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to take the train, drive, or however you need to get here to Elizabeth, New Jersey, and come into Vintage City at the Vintys Apartments to experience a new level of living, new level of dining, and come see me at Jimmy's. We have so much to offer, not only just from a town perspective, but within this actual location. We'd really love to have you. So make sure when you come in, ask for me.
Yes. As for Jimmy, he's gonna make you one of these old fashions. Beautiful.
And if you live here, you get a 10% discount.
What?
Quick little
Say less.
Quick little advertisement there.
People, we have Jimmy here from Jimmy's Bar and other things. Entiende? Because we're here at Jimmy's Bar today, but he's a producer and more. Thank you for being with us, Jimmy. You're now in the
appreciate it.
mix.
Yes.